All right, can we start? Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. All right, so as a start, as usual, your attendance in your iTakdim, please log in. All right, macam tak cukup 24 orang je, ni 34. Right, so the topic that we have learned in the last week online or asynchronously is topic 10, establishment of monitoring system. We will look a little bit about that one as a revision, and then for today we are going to proceed with topic 11, corrective action for non-conformance. All right, let's see about this one first. Sorry, this one. Right, the last week topic is about establishment of monitoring system. Okay, so we have talked about monitoring column in your halal assurance system process or services, where you need to fill in the information of the 4 sub-column. Actually 5, tapi in JAKIM's we call it module, they propose to use these 4. Okay, what to monitor, how to monitor, how frequent you want to monitor, and who will be the responsible personnel to do the monitoring activities. Right? So we also talk about these monitoring activities on the aim of why we need to do a monitoring, to ensure the halal status of product quality remain within the critical limit. Why within critical limit? Because if you see in the previous slide, the previous column before monitoring is the critical limit. So you are monitoring your processes to fulfill the to comply with the critical limit that you have set. Kita memantau suhu freezer contohnya supaya di dalam range 0 hingga -20. Right? So you need to do the monitoring. How to do a monitoring? Okay, we have a lot of example. What to monitor? For example, if you have a temperature, a freezer or chiller, you need to monitor the temperature lah. Right? And then during the monitoring, you shall have your digital thermometer. Kita tak pakai thermometer yang zaman sekolah yang pakai mercury itu. Right? We have digital thermometer. Even now, if you go to Shopee, dah ada digital thermometer that you can purchase dalam, I think dalam RM5, you boleh letak dalam freezer or chiller. So if you are dealing with production of halal food or halal products and you involve chilling or freezing activities in the processing, purchase that one, and then you have to monitor every day, right? And then you will plot, it's not plot lah, you macam make a logbook, okay? Macam you datang attendance for class kan, okay? The way that you can on the column how you can fill in the logbook, but logbook also is very old way of doing it. Okay, for example, if you go to Inhat Lab, 3rd floor here, the way that we monitor freezer and chiller is just printing a QR code, link it to our Google form. Right, so if you link, you get that, and then you open the Google form, make it in Excel, and then you can plot. Right, you can plot. Okay, so I think I give an example in the previous recorded video. Okay, if you are plotting a temperature, this is your day, this is your temperature, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, in the critical limit, you have said that your chiller is between 0 to 4 degrees Celsius. to ensure that the chiller is working correctly. Ya, supaya for your information, if the temperature of chiller more than 4 degree, bacteria can grow. So you will get easier to prone for food poisoning. So that's why in chilling condition, it should be this temperature, right? So for example, when you are in the production, okay, you go to your production, to the kitchen, for example, and then you will plot on the first day, the temperature is 1. Second day, you see that an increment. This is temperature, degree Celsius, 1, 2, 3, and 4. The third day is this one. The fourth day is this one. And then you can plot. So you can anticipate actually on the fifth day there is also an increment, which is perhaps it will be 5 day, and then the temperature will be 5 degrees Celsius. So you can say on the fifth day it will falls beyond the critical limit that you have set. Okay, so what you shall do if you encounter this one, what you shall do usually if you are in the production, you will take out the product that you store in the chiller and relocate to another chiller. Okay, so that activity, relocation of that affected product is called corrective action, which is another column. The column that we are talking this week, today. Okay, so this is just why you should do a monitoring. How frequent? Depend on your operation. Some companies, they carry out their activities 24 hours in shift. Kan ada orang kerja kan ikut shift. 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours. Contoh Nestle. My cousin in Rembau, Negeri Sembilan, all of them working with Nestle. The biggest Nestle in Southeast Asia is in Rembau, kat kampung I lah. So kalau you balik, you go to Johor, Melaka, you will reach Pedas Linggi. So there is you can go to exit that exit, and then you can reach Nestle. So they have 3 shifts. So every shift they will monitor temperature. There will be one personnel who will be appointed to take over or look at the monitoring activities. So all this information that I said shall be stated in this column, right? And these activities, fill in this information, is not for the sake of just fill in. During an audit by the JAKIM auditor together with KKM, they will look into this table, right? To show that you are really doing the monitoring activities. Okay, so this is what we have learned in the previous class. Alright, so I don't go much on this topic because it's just for revision. So let's see about this one. Sorry. So for today, we are talking about this corrective action. Alright. So corrective action. Okay. Corrective action for non-conformance. In Malay, we call it langkah pembetulan untuk ketidakakuran. Alright. Konok kan kejap baca bahasa Melayu, kejap bahasa Inggeris. Tapi nanti jangan pelik. If you go for audit by our government, because we are Malaysia, please take note. That is the language that they will be using for communication. So nanti jangan contact saya tak faham perkataan ni, right? Sometimes you are nowadays youngsters sending email in Malay pun dia fail. Because they have been taught about fully English kan. Tapi you have to be practice bilingual. This is in case of Malaysia lah. If you away from Malaysia, you can stick to the language of the countries lah. Right? So what is the meaning of corrective action and their objective for halal control point? Right? So corrective action are actions taken when monitoring results shows that control measures are not implemented or ineffective to eliminate or prevent the contamination. Okay, what is the difference of control measures and corrective action? Where did you find the word control measures in this subject? No, where did you find? In the class of Dr. Nurul, there is a column in her table, there is a control measures. Ingat tak? Tak ingat, masuk exam nanti. That's a halal control point table, table 1. There is a column named as control measures. Okay, so actually, if you carry out a production and then there is a potential problem there, you will stick to, or you will decide a control measures if the problem occur. That is under Dr. Nurul's session. Now, when the control measures fail to be operating, to be implemented, it goes to corrective actions. Ada? Betul kan? Tak ada, saya masuk dalam soalan exam. Alright? So this is this is corrective action. That's why the word there, corrective action are actions taken when monitoring results shows that control measures in Dr. Nurul's section is not implemented or ineffective. So if you are carrying out any activities related to halal production, you find a problem, so you do the control measures first. But if it is not well implemented, corrective action should be taken. I think we will look later what is an example. So the aim of having this corrective action, langkah pembetulan, apa tujuan dia? Okay, to ensure halal toyiban being implemented. To ensure halal toyiban integrity of the good or process is protected. Control measures are being re-implemented as planned. Right? Control measure study. If it is not effective, we carry out corrective action to re-implement the control measures. Okay. The goods or product during which period the control measures are not implemented are handled according to procedures established, which means what you want to do as a corrective action shall be stated as a SOP, standard operating procedure. Right? So having this SOP or procedure shall be established in the premise, and you shall ensure that all staff in the production really follow or comply with the step stated in the procedures. Okay, corrective actions shall be taken without undue delay or any non-conformance found and close out once satisfactory action has been taken. Okay, we go to this example. Okay, we do the monitoring of your chiller. Okay, you have chiller, your chiller shall be operating well between 0 to 4 degrees. So while you monitor, and then you find there is possibility on the 5th day, the temperature will fall beyond 4 degrees. So what is your corrective action? As I mentioned, what I do, I simply take out the affected product from that chiller, relocate to other chiller. That is the word of without undue delay. Kena buat pada waktu tersebut. That's why we call it corrective action. Another word that I'm usually use for my halal executive workshop, corrective action that you take at that particular of time to prevent the contamination from spreading. In this case, your product affected due to bacteria because of temperature, we call it abuse, can be reduced. Okay, so this is the information of corrective action. Tak boleh lambat-lambat, kena buat pada waktu tersebut. Okay, itu corrective action. Okay, who is responsible in the production of halal product and services to carry out this corrective action? Halal Toyiban Leader, Management and Supervision, and Internal Halal Committee. Dah belajar ke Internal Halal Committee? How many people minimum? 4. Alright. Habis tu kalau tiba-tiba ada makcik yang buat kerepek tu dia seorang je. This case, what you shall call it? Boleh, but we call it Halal Toyiban Leader. Any premise which is having small numbers of staff, kita akan panggil dia Halal Toyiban Leader. Okay. Why? Okay, sebab we want to promote small medium enterprise to start now on producing halal products, with the aim later on, when they can promote their product using halal certified products, they can expand and then getting more staff to be employed lah. Alright. So yang tu kita akan panggil halal thayyibah for small and medium enterprise. For a very big company, definitely you need internal halal committee with minimum 4 personnel. Siapa yang dalam internal halal committee? Yang 4 tu? So exam lah. Chairman, halal exec lagi. Internal halal committee, IHC. Lagi 2. Siapa? Jangan guna suara falsetto, please. Who is another 2 representative? Who is the responsible personnel to purchase ingredient? No. Kalau kita actually no, siapa yang beli ingredient dalam industri? What? Purchasing personnel. Okay, which department they are located? They work for procurement. Esok di interview jangan tak tahu perkataan ni. Jangan malukan UIA. Okay, so purchasing officer, betul, they are the representative from the procurement department. Okay, siapa lagi satu? Who is another one? Ni paling penting ni. You are going to do a production. So who is the responsible personnel? Okay, production, betul. Representative from production. Okay, siapa kadang-kadang kita panggil? Sometimes we call it supervisors, sometimes we call them production executive. So nanti kalau di interview panggil ada halal executive to be working in any company, jangan terperanjat. Right? So this is internal halal committee lah for a big company. Management and supervision, definitely the top management lah, bos yang lagi besar from the internal halal committee. Right? Okay, if you refer to Malaysia Halal Management System 2020, right, we have the statement there, langkah pembetulan or corrective action lah. So this is indicate is a required item for any company that producing halal product or halal or offering halal services. Alright, if you see that there's a word there, pelan pengurusan risiko halal. In Malay, actually this is talking about our table 2. Right? Halal Thayyiban Risk Management Plan Summary. Okay, cuma dia dalam bahasa Melayu lah. And then this is 2020 version. In the, I think another 5 years, they will change. Maybe simple, different term or additional of information. Alright. This is the translation lah. Right? So, what do we need to carry out a corrective action? Definitely, equip your knowledge and experience. Ada dekat situ. You have to know the principle of halal assurance system. Okay, what are those? Apa principle halal assurance system? How many of them? Alright, so saya tak tanya lebih lah. Sebab rasanya dalam setiap kelas tanya kan. Kita macam ni lah, kita kan UIA kan. Memorization of Al-Quran tu penting, kena kerap. Same goes with other knowledge lah. Alright, kita tak stick pada, kita apply lah apa yang Al-Quran tu ajar kan, kena hafal. So this one kena tanya banyak kali. Right? And then based on Malaysian standard related to halal, ensure that halal Thayyiban management system is established, implemented and maintained in accordance with the standards, which means you have to refer Malaysian standard. What is the main reference of Malaysian standard? MS berapa? 1500, alright, version. Right, so next time jangan ada guna 2009. Exam selalu jumpa 2009. Right, 2009 dah lama. Kita tak, we are not tok kaduk punya level ya. Usually this Malaysian standard dia ada macam-macam. Pharmaceutical lain, apa tu, logistik lain ya. You have to take note on that one. And find the latest. Okay, initiate corrective action and control to the processes including product recall and withdrawal until the deviation of the unsatisfactory condition related to halal requirement have been corrected. Okay, in certain cases, for example, your corrective action might be extended to up to the level of product recall and withdrawal. What is product recall and withdrawal? Ingat tak, rasa dalam a few months back, there is a soup yang dia contaminated. Prego soup. Yang tu bila dia buka dah lendir, ada bau. So that this one will cause food poisoning. So this Prego punya production, manufacturer has issued an official, I think, statement. They state the batch number, the expiry date of the Prego soup, so that it will be recall or withdrawal. Kita panggil dalam Malay panggil semula, tarik balik dari pasaran lah. Right? So in some cases it will go up to this level. Okay, this topic we will learn in the next classes. What is the SOP lah. And then you have to know, you have to get enough knowledge on food hygiene principles. If this one dealing with the producing of halal products, if you're dealing with logistic transportation, this one also need to have additional information. You need to able to judge potential risks, take appropriate preventive and corrective action, and ensure effective monitoring and supervision to take place. Macam mana nak tahu take appropriate preventive action? Usually in the premise, if you are macam kita panggil apa, freshies, baru join industries, so you need to deal with your macam senior supervisors to assist you on corrective action. Sometime in industry, you will appoint as halal executive, tapi you don't have any experience. So what you need to do, you have to deal with your go to production, get the information and assistance from this supervisor. This one, production executive. Okay, salah tulis production executive to assist you to get to know about potential risk and take preventive action correctly. Alright. Okay, apa contoh-contohnya? What are the action that be considered as halal as corrective action? So review non-conformities. Kita kena semak ketidakakuran, alright? Review the trend in monitoring result. Ini contoh dia. You have to review this one. Why this happened? Corrective action does not say that only you relocate your affected product from chiller. You have to investigate why this happened. Okay? So apa yang berlaku kalau kat rumah freezer dengan chiller rosak? Tak sejuk? Kat rumah tak ada chiller dengan freezer. Beli hari ni terus masak. Kan dia selalu cakap kurang gas. Kadang-kadang you punya freezer atau chiller tu dia punya sealant, penutup pintu tu dia dah terkopak. Alright? So that is the reason you have to investigate lah. Alright? So kau baru tahu. Alright, determine the cause of non-conformities. Yang ni samalah. Alright, identify the reason. Evaluate the need for action to ensure that non-conformities do not recur. Okay, kita akan menilai semula supaya non-conformities, ketidakakuran tidak berlaku semula. Okay, in this case contohnya, there is a company in Port Klang. Dia buat halal warehousing. Dia ada banyak, they use this halal warehousing to store frozen food. Do you think how can they able to store in a big place for cold storage? Kalau tiba-tiba tak ada elektrik macam mana? What they need to do? Okay, so usually this kind of company, they will purchase generator set. Kan? They will purchase generator set. Some of them, they make an agreement between warehousing companies at other place. So if there are in their premises, they can relocate the whole products to another premise lah. Right? Sometimes dia ada sewa, they rent another warehouse for cold storage in the case of to avoid recur of the non-conformities lah. Alright? And then determine and implement actions needed. All activity that you have decide for corrective action shall be recorded as well. Okay, that's compulsory. And then you need to review the corrective action if taken to know that if they are effective or not. Okay, and then corrective action shall be recorded as well. Alright. So this is activities are related to corrective action. Corrective action doesn't stay as corrective action alone. You need to investigate the root cause lah. Okay, so this is the column that we need to fill in. Nanti kita tengok contoh, ada contoh tak? Okay, so this is an example. Okay, nanti pernah keluar dalam exam. Cerita je. Alright, so this company that carry out slaughtering activities. This is the step. Remember, if you want to slaughter chicken, you have to ensure 4 bins are severed. According to Malaysian standard 1500-2019, right? So what you need to monitor? You need to monitor those all 4 bins are severed. How? The bird's bin shall be verified post-slaughtering activities by halal checker, right? When each bird, who halal checker will take this action. So what corrective action that you need to carry out if you find those bins are not properly severed, tak dipotong dengan sempurna lah, disembelih dengan sempurna. So definitely you will stop the slaughtering activities, discard the affected birds or chicken, change the slaughterman. Kadang-kadang slaughterman terlalu penat. Some case, company set up an SOP, every 3,000 chicken slaughtered, slaughterman will be replaced by a new slaughterman. Even halal checker as well. In Malaysia, we don't allow mechanical slaughtering. Tak boleh lah. So memang akan penat. Saya punya cousin, in Pedas Halal Park, he's previously a slaughterman. So jadi penat lah. Right? So that's why there is a statement there. Change the slaughterman. Definitely you have to check the knife condition. Kita kena pastikan. Itu pun sama. They will make a SOP. Berapa banyak chicken yang slaughtered, and then they need to change the knife to ensure the knife are really sharp. Okay? So the corrective action that you choose in this column shall be clear, specific and measurable. Vague one shall be avoided. Bukan vague tau, vague. But yang ragu-ragu sama-sama tak boleh. You have to state properly. Okay, so this is an activities that usually halal executive will take action. They will discuss with the production executive or supervisors on what corrective action shall be stated for each particular step during production. Alright. Okay. Don't forget to document your corrective action. So any organization shall ensure that implementation of proper documentation. This documentation shall be prepared accordingly, okay, especially during the audit lah. Ini boleh baca lah, alright. What next after corrective action? Okay, after you carry out corrective action, you need to carry out a validation, okay, to check whether the corrective action are really effective or not. Adakah dengan kita, contoh for that slaughtering activities, dengan we stop the slaughtering activities, we change the slaughterman, we check the knife condition enough for corrective action. Validation as well will be cover that after you follow the corrective action in the table, does the issues of the 4 bins not properly severed occur again? If still occur, so that's indicate your corrective action is not effective. So that's, we call it the system of validation. Initiate preventive action to prevent recurrence that will affect the halal toyiban status. Okay. Report on the suitability and effectiveness of halal toyiban management system for management review. Every year, before the audit by JAKIM, you need to carry out an internal audit. After the internal audit, you need to carry out a management review. So these activities on corrective action shall be reported in the management review. Management review is simple meeting actually. You are talking about discussion on the whole in the same year, what have happened on the halal assurance system of the production. Alright? Internal audit shall be planned and conducted at least once a year by independent personnel designated by the management. So, to support the validation, you need to carry out once a year internal audit. Alright, sama macam dekat UIA ni, IIUM, every years kita punya university will be audited by SIRIM lah, to check is it really your course really valid, should the course be we call it dismiss. Ada certain course macam engineering banyak yang kita dismiss because it's not effective, tak ada permintaan for example. So those things we call it internal audit first. Before SIRIM come, we need the lecturer will come sit together to look back on your courses. Contoh yang Bahim ni, why we create Bahim? Because we think there is a requirement, it's not a request from the industries, so that after the graduation of the student from IIUM, they can be thrown away globally. Kita tak pergi, kita pergi kayangan kan. Universiti lain kita bagi dia stay kat Malaysia. Alright, saya tak nafi setiap kali saya bagi talk dekat luar negara, dia tanya, ada tak halal executive daripada UIA? Itulah. Kita nak stay dalam Malaysia kan. Saya beritahu dulu So now I am developing a module for halal executive from Malaysia that will be exported abroad. Saya baru buat untuk JAKIM, as I told you. So I hope that we can materialize this one. Kita nak hantar semualah. Okay. And then the last slide, verify the effectiveness of corrective action via internal audit. This one actually we will look in the next class, but just an overview. Okay, you have to appoint an internal audit to carry out to check whether your corrective action is correct or not. This internal audit shall be carried out by an auditor, whether it's from the industry itself, but that's why we call internal audit, or we can appoint a third party. Okay, some audit can be extended to our supplier. Contohnya, there is some cases supplier provide an ingredient, but the ingredient doesn't have a valid or genuine halal certificate. So you can extend an audit to your supplier. Okay, and then from this audit, internal audit, you need to carry out activities of the audit and get the finding. Okay, when internal audit are not available, you can request from external source lah. Right? So I think that's all for today. We are talking about corrective action. But pernah dengar tak? Have you heard what when we say about corrective action? Sometimes people will be confused between corrective action and preventive action. So relocating your affected product from chiller to another chiller is considered corrective action. But if you set up purchase a generator set, if you purchase another chiller or a few chillers more to support the broken one, is considered preventive action. Boleh nampak beza? Relocate your product from affected chiller to another chiller, contoh you ada 2 chillers, is corrective action. But if you purchase more chillers to support the one chiller that is still okay, is considered preventive action. Okay, contoh lain, you driving to petrol pump, and then tiba-tiba suddenly you find, and then you are filling the fuel to your car. Suddenly there is a fire in the fire pump. Sorry, in the fire station lah, dekat Petronas for example. So what is your corrective action? You tengah drive, and then you tengah isi minyak, and then suddenly berlaku kebakaran. What is your corrective action? Alright, remember, corrective action is the action that you take at that particular of time to prevent contamination. So you ambil fire extinguisher, you akan put off the fire. Itu corrective action. So after corrective action, what is your preventive action? SOP, okay. Okay, remember we talked about this one. Corrective action is not about corrective action only. You have to investigate the cause. So what is the cause of the fire? Mungkin orang main phone, mungkin orang smoking, right? So it's the cause. For smoking, what is your preventive action? You put up a signage, no smoking. So that is considered your preventive action. So before you decide your preventive action, you have to find the root cause first. From the root cause, you will decide the preventive action. Sama macam ni, you punya chiller rosak, broken chiller. So when chiller broken, you relocate the product. So when you investigate why, so because of you have only 1 or 2 chillers, tak banyak, and then your product is so many, for example. So you decide to purchase another few chillers, new one. So that one, purchasing new chillers is considered your preventive action. Faham? Right? So gunakan yang kebakaran di petrol station tu as an example. After you decide corrective action, investigate first the root cause, then you will decide the preventive action based on this root cause. Bukan sembarangan. Tadi ada cadang apa? Siapkan, sentiasa ada fire extinguisher. Yang tu kena tengok balik. Is it correct? Okay, because it should be reflected to your root cause of the non-conformance. Alright, so itu saja daripada saya. We stop at this time. Kita baru 30, 10.40 lah. Alright, so we will meet on Wednesday insyaAllah, face to face. If I don't mention about online or asynchronous class, meaning that we still have an face-to-face class lah, right? So I think that's all. Thank you again. If you have any question, you can text me. See you on Wednesday. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.